Hello, everyone. Who the hell asked here? Byron and I got a bevy of topics for you today. We're skipping the long intro, so without further ado, let's get underway. Byron, did you hear about Twitch on Nintendo Switch?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So this was announced a bit ago, but yeah, Twitch is now available on the Nintendo Switch, which I came as a shock to the surprise of literally everyone because it was trending on Twitter. But yes, you can watch Twitch streams. Uh, you could watch my streams or Slade's like streams every so often
Every month,
on
yeah.
on the Switch. Unfortunately, you can't chat on the Switch itself. You have to have a mobile device or like a tablet next to you. But this was like interesting news because it came out of it absolutely out of all the stories. This one might be the most left field story of the week.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I was caught most off guard by was just the fact that they dropped another app on the Switch, which I think Byron and I have been discussing for a long time, that the Switch is woefully lacking in like third-party apps like Twitch, Netflix, etc. And
Yeah.
good on them. I think this is a good move, though. I think it's hilarious that you can't type without your phone. It just
Yep.
kind of continues to point to the limited online communication capabilities, I guess, of the Switch.
Yeah, but it's still cool to have Twitch on Switch. It both makes sense and it rhymes, which I both love and hate that it rhymes.
Yeah, definitely surprising that it didn't happen much earlier, but I guess at this point it was surprising that it happened at all. So, Twitch on
Yep.
Switch, everybody. Amazon is now on your next mobile handheld device that's
Uh,
very popular.
uh, and speaking of left field stories, uh, this one is huge, but for a different reason.
Yeah,
So, Unity.
yeah, so Unity is acquiring Weta Digital, which
Yeah.
for those that know don't aren't in the know, Weta Digital specifically, the artist tools that they make for developing, games and scenes, background stuff like that is pretty top of the market. I would say it's probably the most cutting edge in terms of 3D game development by a country mile.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
these tools have been foundational in like award-winning films like Avatar, Black Widow, The Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes. You've
Yep.
probably heard about a lot of these products. So
Yeah. A lot of
this
these
is the
major
tool they
motion.
use to make a lot of the animation and a lot of the really large cinematic stuff that happened in a lot of those films and shows. So
Yep. Yep. So they are putting exclusive VFX tools in the hands of millions of creators and artists, and once connected with the Unity platform, enabled the next generation of RT 3D creativity. So yeah, Unity bought Weta Digital for $1.6 billion.
oh yeah, so this is absolutely massive because now game developers are going to have access to these tools, which is really crazy to think about because we're talking about like how we just got, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, as well as, high-end gaming PCs are going to be
Yeah.
able to take advantage of this engine to the fullest extent that it could be pushed
Yeah.
and really just create some absolutely incredible shit.
Yeah, and
So,
we thought Unity was going ham when they bought Parsec a few months ago. We thought
yeah.
that was huge. I don't know. This is it as huge, if not bigger, than the Parsec acquisition,
This is
which is
kind of starting to reek of Unity possibly wanting to develop a console. Actually, if you think about it, they got an online user base that is able to connect players to one another. Now they got some crazy huge video game developing technology. Acquired for the whole industry as a whole, but even still, like
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
go
go as
that
far as to
far.
say that they could build a console, but I think that if they were going to do one, I would actually not be surprised. But
I just think they want to try to incentivize developers to use Unity as opposed to Unreal or building their own engine.
Like, speaking of that, yeah, I definitely think that at a certain point, games are going to become so advanced to where Unreal Engine isn't going to be able to keep up with what developers are wanting to make. But I guess it depends on the time developers have to develop a game and how much, these companies are willing to spend.
Yeah,
I know for a lot of people that these games are kind of rushed before completion a lot of the time. Maybe this doesn't mean as much as we think it will, but
yeah, yeah, or like Unreal like adds features that like are like on par or whatever with Unity. And
yeah. But for those AAA studios that are given a blank check to just go out there and innovate to their fullest extent, this engine's going to allow them to do it. So this is still just incredible news overall.
Like usual, if Unity does if Unity does anything more insane or as insane as like the Parsec acquisition or this, we'll cover it because these always come out of left field.
All right, so on to our next bit of news, and this is one that hurt me personally. The Steam Deck was delayed until February 2022. So, in their message that they stated on, I believe it was on Twitter, they stated that due to global supply chain issues, material shortages, the components aren't reaching their manufacturing facilities in time for them to meet their initial launch dates. Yep. So, the chip shortage issue among a lot of other, shipping issues we're seeing, across the globe.
Yeah.
Delayed the Steam Deck, not necessarily because developing it's not going swimmingly, but because they just don't have the parts there yet.
Yep. So the launch of the Steam Deck, it was originally supposed to come out in about a month. It will now be starting to ship to customers in February of 2022. All reservation holders keep their place in line, but dates will shift back accordingly. So some people may not get a Steam Deck until possibly the end of next year, which is insane.
Yeah, it's insane, but it's also understandable given the state of the market. So
yeah, absolutely. But
as I said, I was definitely disappointed myself because, as I said, I was really looking forward to having the entirety of my Steam library on the go, which to me is still a mind-blowingly insane concept.
Yeah, that's still insane, but
not to mention the ability to like run emulators as well, which is also insane. So
yep,
we will definitely follow that situation as it evolves. But for those that were excited for the Steam Deck, I am right there with you. But as I said, don't give Valve too much or really any shit. It's not anything that they can control. It's just, as I said, the state of the market that we're in right now.
Yeah, it's okay. Speaking of state of the market, oh boy, do we have a big one for you today. So, ladies and gentlemen, to end the show this week, we have Rockstar Games.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. What's with all the fucking thes? But yeah, so the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition has had some issues, and we'll go over that, but it was also pulled from the Rockstar Games launcher because it had suffered, quote, significant issues that made the game unplayable. At the time of the article's publication from this Eurogamer article, the PC version of Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, is unavailable to buy on Rockstar's website. Meanwhile, the Rockstar Games launcher remains offline because apparently services for the Rockstar Games launcher and supported titles were temporarily offline for maintenance.
Yeah, so needless to say, this game is released as an absolute shit show so far. I've only gotten a very small glimpse of some of the issues plaguing it, but the gist of what I've caught is it looks like the game's just unbaked, unfinished, a very poorly brought up product overall. You have typos literally everywhere that weren't in the original games, which are borderline insane to me, because like if you're just upscaling like the original titles, then why are you redoing the text for all these things? And more importantly, why is the person redoing them fucking up so bad?
Okay. a theory that I have seen thrown around, and on screen here we have the images. It's Screamin' Collins guitars, Guitar Wank booths, and it says Guitar Hank, or like the I is missing in air guitars. A theory I have seen some people throw around is that a lot of this was AI upscaled.
Oh, so they
And
didn't
so
even have people working on this. I guess that would make
well,
sense,
no,
because if
that's
they
a
didn't even
theory.
have people working on
Well,
this,
it's
then
like
half these
that's a
fuck ups suddenly
theory.
make a lot more sense, because obviously nobody was checking on it.
Well, well, that's just a theory I've seen thrown around, but yeah, and Slade was mentioning some graphical issues earlier. So, thanks to Twitter user Janky Nadelko for these two clips of the rain on the Xbox version. Now, that's not the PC version. This may not be an issue on the PC version, but look at this.
Yeah, so I was looking at the rain of these clips, and I'm like, what the hell? You can barely see. And then, like, it's clipping through, like, the ocean. It's like parts of it disappear on screen, which is really fucking bizarre. You can't, like, see anything. This dude rides under a bridge, and you can still see the rain falling. Like, this is terrible. This might be, like, the worst, like, looking rain, like, graphics I think I have ever seen. Like mechanics, effects, physics, I don't know what the fuck to call it. It's just terrible. It's just the
Yeah.
whole thing is terrible.
Now, I have not been able to find if this has been the case on the other versions, but if it is, oh my god.
Yeah, I think this definitely needed a delay. Because I
Yeah.
said, the fact that you said AI were upscaling it would explain so much. Because I said, I guarantee you, literally nobody was checking to see if this shit was working properly.
Well,
Holy fuck.
again, that's a theory that I've seen thrown around, but maybe there's both. Maybe there was people upscaling the text, and then AI helped out or whatever. But
And see,
man, like,
shitty HD re-releases of games like these are why people emulate games.
yeah.
I've been saying it since the beginning of time. It's always a service issue. It's never a fucking pirate issue.
But there is one other thing that was discovered, and shoutouts to Twitter user Ash_735. So they have found that in the definitive that the game includes all of the cut music from at least from San Andreas and I believe Vice City. Not sure about 3, but I would assume the same thing. But apparently, it is only disabled by a script. And that could potentially be a big problem because there was a reason some of the music was cut in GTA, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, because they don't have the rights to that music.
Yeah,
And,
oh lord.
that could be a little, yeesh.
Oh yeah, the amazing thing is all the music is still like in the game's files too. They're just disabled by
Yep.
a script. So like, modders are gonna get in there and they're gonna like re-enable all the older music and whatnot, which is crazy. And as I said, we've touched a lot on like basically the music and whatnot. We haven't even touched on all the other bugs that are happening as well. Like the fact that they released remakes in this kind of poor quality, and we were just shitting on like the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack for the state the Ocarina of Time shipped in and whatnot. Well, not shipped in, but was made available to the public. Oh my god, this makes Nintendo look like so much better in comparison, because at least the game functions and plays. This crap is terrible.
Yeah. Oh. There are some people that have been saying there may or may not be some of the hot coffee stuff, which was like some sexual stuff that I believe was in. I want to say it was San Andreas.
You're probably right.
But like, oh my, what a situation this has been. If anything else pops up, we'll cover it in future episodes on the show.
Yeah, honestly, I think the real sad thing about the situation, because a lot of people have the perception that Rockstar Games were like one of the few good studios that like will release a product that's finished for the most part and not have these kind of issues. But It just goes to show you that nobody in these large AAA studios or in these large corporations are innocent.
Well,
If
the
it
thing
makes
is,
them a quick buck, they're going to release these games in unplayable states.
Rockstar outsourced this.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh, God.
Oh god. But yeah, if anything else that pops up on the GTA situation, then we'll let you know. We do know that the Rockstar Games launcher is now back up as of 5 hours ago, as we are recording this. So it's back up now. But there was a reason I didn't say we would be covering this next week, and that's because next week, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Who the Hell Asks second annual Game Awards nominees predictions special.
That's right. We're covering the Game Awards again, kind of what really kicked off our show to begin with. I think tomorrow, possibly, we might do a video on covering our predictions for who gets nominated. Maybe not for every award, but for some of them. But
Emphasis on the maybe, but we will definitely at least have our predictions next week on who we think will win most of the awards. Because
that's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate, taking some of your time up in your day. This has been Slade.
This has been Byron. We will see you all next week for Who the Hell Asked second annual Game Awards nominees prediction special.
That's it, everybody. We'll see you next time.